What is up? Welcome back to another live training webinar. Excited for tonight, man. We've had this gentleman literally in everything we do because I love hanging out with him, love learning from him. He just dropped some major bombs at our 8% conference just literally like a week and a half ago. Mr. Edward Pritchett, what is up, sir? Appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Good to even just a week and a half out from 8%. Good to be with you here today. Good to continue to share with this industry, the industry that I know both of us have a heart and a passion for, and excited because I'm confident, like I'm 100% confident that if people jot down what I'm getting ready to talk about over the next 30 minutes, it's going to change how they do their activity, and it's going to change the results that they get. Because it's amazing the small things that hold us back from success. It's not like you got to go learn a tome of knowledge to be able to be successful in this industry. That's what I like. This isn't rocket science. It's insurance, right? Like there's only this, you die, you live, you get paid, you don't until you die. And when like it's really simple what we do, but it's all the stuff that's like happening right here that separates the people who succeed from those who fail. So excited to be able to share, and I appreciate the opportunity, the platform that you've built to allow individuals like myself to do that.
Thanks, buddy. You're awesome. I appreciate you. So for those who are joining tonight, our special guest trainer is no really surprise guest, as he's been on a bunch of our stuff, is Mr. Edward Pritchett. He does just a measly 50-60 million a year with Symmetry Financial Group and his organization. The Pritchett Agency has an amazing team, a wealth of knowledge, graduated from Yale, actually wrestled a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, which is impressive at that. Was going to be a engineer, and now is absolutely crushing in the insurance space. And tonight is going to be talking about the $100,000 sales opinion, which is a very intriguing title. I've been excited for tonight to see what he is planning to share. So I'm going to turn it over to him, spotlight him. He's going to train for a little bit, and then we'll do some Q&A and hang out. So buddy, thanks for being here, and take it away.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you again, Cody. For those of you who are joining or maybe watching this after the fact, if you're not plugging into what Cody is making available to you, there's so many, IMOs, agencies, independent, captive. There's a lot of stuff that's going on out there, but of everything, and I've been in this industry now for 15 years, of everything that I've looked at to see where can I get more knowledge, be around the right people, right? We are the books we read, the people we associate with, the things that are put together by 8%, by Cody Askins, by his team, the events, the trainings. They always leave me with like, I didn't know that. Like it gives me something to help me grow my level of knowledge in the industry. And I believe that's one of the things that separates those who win from those who don't, right? That one, right? Like their work is another one, like people who don't work versus people who do, like that separates people who win and who don't. But knowledge is certainly right up there on the list of the few things that you really have to have in order to make it work. Not just in our industry, but in any kind of business. So I wanted to share today, and I was thinking about like PowerPoints and using the whiteboard and all that, but I think you guys can hear me. Like I'm assuming you passed your insurance license test, you can read, you can write, like I'm assuming here, but like if you didn't, like if you can't read and write and you pass your insurance test, wow, that's pretty impressive too. But at least you can hear it and understand what I'm talking about. And the whole crux of this ideal that kind of came to me at the last 8% conference, like that's where the seeds for this came from, the speakers and the people that were talking there, this ideal of the $100,000 sales opinion. And I started to think about those individuals who are just really killing it when it comes to insurance sales. The people who are out there thriving at this time. People know that our industry has grown in leaps and bounds since 2020. I mean, we've had our first $1 trillion year of premiums in the life sector. The annuity sector is growing like gangbusters, but there's some people who are getting a chance to take advantage of that. And there's others who are still sitting back waiting for their ship to come in. All right. And what I want to talk to you about is it's all about an opinion. It's an opinion that's keeping you from being $100,000 or more a year producer. The people who have this opinion or think about opinions in the right way, I should say, they're the ones who are going to make like 100, 150, 200, 300, 400. I mean, really the sky's the limit in our industry because you can make whatever level of income you're willing to put the effort into in insurance. So let's start off with what I mean by that. An opinion is a set of realities that a person has about a thing, a place, or an experience, right? Every single person has an opinion about things in their life. And the crazy things about opinion, like I can't prove this scientifically yet, but every opinion is different. Like even if you agree with somebody about something, like if you go to church, there's probably people in your church who like you agree fundamentally on some of the core things, but there's probably some opinions you have about how things work that are different. I guarantee it, right? Test it out if you want to. Like get into a conversation about religion with people that you think you agree with, and you'll see. Or how about this one? Politics. You know, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or independent, find another Republican and have a conversation with how they feel about certain things within politics. I promise you're going to find some different opinions, right? So everyone has opinions. Everyone has different opinions, but it's the weight that we give opinions that determine things that happen in our life. All right. And let's start off with the first one. You're a life insurance sales agent right now, or you're in P&C, or you're in health, and you tell your family and your friends what you do. Some of you told your family and friends, and what did you get? You got the insurance, really? Is it that bad? Is that rough? Like you're gonna do like, don't sell me, right? Don't call me about life insurance, right? You got that, and then you took that opinion that they had about the industry that you've chosen to be in, and you let that color everything you did from then on. You didn't even realize it, right? They looked down and maybe they belittled you with what they said about you being an insurance agent. And now every time you pick up the phone and make dials, every time you go to do studying or you're trying to train, or when you're given the opportunity to invest in your business, that's playing in the back of your head. And what it's doing is it's slowly sabotaging everything that you're trying to do for yourself and your family and the income that you're trying to make here in this industry. How about this one? Social media, right? You post on social media, you're like, I'm going to be the next Cody Askins. I'm going to get 100,000 followers in like a year and a half. Like I'm going to make it happen. And then you start getting the comments. You start getting the unfollows. You start getting those things that other people that's their opinion. They believe it. And you start to internalize those opinions. You start to think about those way too much. All the negative you start to just kind of take in, and you let that color what happens when you pick up the phone and make your dials, what happens when you go to your morning huddle ups or your team sales call or whatever. You come into those things with the attitude after having just read through a whole bunch of negative comments. Or maybe you didn't get any comments, and that you're like, oh, I'm so horrible, nobody even wants to comment on what I'm posting out there, right? Like that's an opinion in and of itself. So that opinion, again, it gets in there and it slowly sabotages what you do. Now, I think those two opinions, you know, family and friends and just general social stuff, everyone can agree with me. Like, okay, I get it, and I know I need to work on it, but you know, I'm trying. I'm working to not let that affect me. And here's the thing: it's a choice. This is one of those things that I really clicked for me at 8%, was that these things, like I was asking myself, why don't those things affect me the way I see it affect some of the agents that I work with? And it all boils down to choice. It's a choice, and I'm saying I'm just not going to believe their narrative, because guess what? I have an opinion too, and I'm not going to put someone else's opinion over what I'm doing with my life and how I'm choosing to serve the people in my community. I'm not going to put their opinion over mine. I'm going to allow my opinion to be the one to dominate. That's a choice that I get to make every day. Some days I'm really good at that choice. Some days, I'll be honest, like there's some days I'm like, oh man, this is kind of rough. You know, it's going to be hard to make this choice today, but I'm going to make that choice. Now, here's the opinion that I think is killing most new agents in the beginning of their career. And what I see, the agents who are making $100,000 and more, they don't have this opinion anymore. They've let this opinion go. They don't care about this one because you shouldn't care about this one. It's the opinion of people who you don't even know. The opinions of people who you don't even know. And here's what those opinions look like. I'm gonna pick up mine right here, and just so I don't want to give away too many people's names. Don't copy these names and numbers down. I'm gonna hold it a little far away so y'all can't see it too much. But it's the opinion of these things, right? These leads. I get a set of leads in, and before I even dial, I'm sitting down, I'm looking at them, and I'm already starting to form opinions about Amber. And like, what is she gonna say? Does she want me to give her a call? You know, is it a good day? Is it a bad day for her? Here's the thing, guys. The opinion of someone you don't know who is that lead, it cannot matter. You have to make a choice that their opinion does not matter. Their opinion does not matter until I get them on the phone and I have an opportunity to turn them from a lead, someone I don't even know, into a client, someone who I'm going to work to serve and help and take care of. I hear it all the time. What if I call at the wrong time? What if they're mad? What if they're angry? Again, this is the opinion that stops the most important activity that you do as a life insurance agent, and that's your prospecting. If you have leads, let their opinion go. Their opinion does not matter until you actually have a conversation with them, until you actually talk to them and show them that you're here to serve them. And that's why I call this the $100,000 sales opinion. Because if that opinion is stronger than your belief in yourself, stronger than your opinion about what you're there to do for those clients, you'll never make over $100,000 in this industry. You will always struggle. And it is just a choice. It is a choice that you can turn on or off. And you ask, well, okay, that sounds simple, but it's difficult or it's hard. It really isn't. You're complicating it in your mind. Think of the times in our lives where we're faced with certain people's opinions and we just choose to just not engage and not believe. And we can go back to politics and religion on this one. There are some other people who have very strong opinions that are in totally opposite to yours, but you've decided to make your opinion strong through continued belief, continued talk. You associate with people who have the same belief that you have, and it doesn't matter what the other side is saying, your opinion is going to win. So why aren't you doing that with your business? Why are you letting the opinion of people, like they don't even have a chance to tell you their opinion yet? You're prejudging that they're going to have a negative opinion or a negative reaction to you calling or when you should call or what you should say, right? If you get around, and this is why conferences, trainings like this one, plugging into just that, the mindset filling things that really help you kind of, I talked about this during my breakout at conference, to help bulletproof you as an agent, right? To help you put on some armor. The more you start engaging with things like this, the more you can bulletproof yourself against those opinions that might be counter to you. You don't even know that they're counter yet because you haven't picked up the phone and called, right? But it's preventing you from doing the one thing that's going to allow you to be successful. And so the agents who can get around that, not just the opinion of those leads, people you don't even know, first off, right? That should be easy to get over, right? We don't care what people who we don't know think or say about us most of the time, right? Until we go to pick up some leads and start dialing. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm worried about what they're going to think about me. Right? You weren't worried about that when you wore that dress yesterday, or you went out to the beach in your little Speedo, you guys who like to wear that, like you weren't worried about other people's opinions. I'm kidding about those things, right? But like we see that people will, for themselves, they'll do it and they don't care what other people are thinking. And that's what I'm wanting you to embrace, that when it comes to this level of activity, the activity of just getting on the phone, working the resources that you have, and not having to rely on how someone else might be thinking about me to keep me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And what we're supposed to be doing is prospecting every single day. Every single day, we need to be on top of the resource that we have in the form of whether it's leads, whether it's a warm market list that you have, whatever you have as an opportunity to share with others what you do in the life insurance, P&C, health insurance space. Then if I can let go of those other opinions, and I know I keep saying this, but I keep saying it because like you just have to hear it over and over and over again. You can let those go. So now, once you've done that, what are the things that $100,000 producers are doing every single week, every single day? Well, let's start off with weekly. Number one, if I've let go of those opinions and I know I have to do a certain amount of activity, what am I tracking? What I tracked happens. What I don't track, it may or may not happen. So I recommend to everybody, and I'm throwing up a lot of pages and stuff because, like I said, I didn't want to do the whole PowerPoint. I think you guys get it because this is, to some degree, like, this may be old school, but I love, a lot of people have these digital trackers and stuff like that. But I like having just a standard sheet, right? And I have in my standard sheet, how many dials, how many contacts, how many appointments, how many leads did I receive? What week was this? And then as I start booking appointments, I start writing the names down this side of the paper, right? Then as I take applications, I can write, okay, I took an application with this carrier. This was my APV. Any notes that I have? Did I sit it? Was there a no-show? Did I reschedule? But every single week, I have this set up to the side as I'm doing those dials. Whenever I put other people's opinion out of my mind and I'm sitting down and just going, right? I love some of the new CRM platforms that are out there that allow you to kind of power dial, where you load in your leads and you just hit dial. And then when you're not on the phone, it's dial on the next one, right? Like if you can find a CRM that will do that for you, that can help you get over that momentum piece where every time I pick up the phone, like it gets heavier and heavier every time I seem to pick it up. Well, if I use a system like that, that can help me to go through and just dial and let the next one pick up the phone. And then I'm going in and just having a conversation. It's someone that I'm here. I'm able to help. I'm able to protect you. Let's have a conversation. But weekly, you have to track that activity, right? And then every day, whenever you're tracking that activity each week, every day you want to get some dialing in, especially if you're a new agent. If you're a new agent, I know people start talking about, I'm going to build an agency, I'm going to recruit the whole world, this, that, and the other. It's hard to recruit someone to something that you're not any good at, right? And the best way to get good at is to get your reps in. So every day, dial. This is an age and time now where, especially if you're working digital leads, speed to lead makes a whole bunch of difference to how successful you're going to be with that particular lead, right? So when I get my lead resources in for that day or maybe for that week, I want to be on those as quickly as I possibly can, right? If I can talk to the person who just filled out a direct mail form or just hit submit online, if I talk to them like 5 minutes after they did that, man, I can't imagine what my success ratio would be. With direct mail, it's hard to do that, right? Like it has to go through the mail process. But with digital, nowadays, like you literally can potentially get in touch with someone within hours, within minutes of them having clicked submit. Do you think their intent is a little bit higher at that point in time, right? So again, I've let the opinions go so that I can dive in and do the activity without having any kind of worry, right? I'm not worried about what they're thinking. I'm worried about my opinion, which is, am I here to help these individuals get the protection that they requested whenever they sent in that form? The other thing that successful agents do that I continue to see more and more of, and this is something that I'm learning from Cody, which, you know, I owe one post for today because I haven't done it yet. So before the end of the day, I have to get it out. But they post, they share with others what they're doing, right? Like it's great to get leads. Leads are a great resource. But people who already know you, they already have a level of trust with you. The more they learn about what you do. I was out on the golf course yesterday with my nephew, and it was an opportunity to talk to him about, hey, what are you and your wife doing to save for your retirement and to make sure that from a protection standpoint, you guys are protected, right? Any opportunity that I have to share what I'm doing, I'm going to share what I'm doing. This goes to that whole thing, and I've said it a couple times before. I don't know who I stole it from. So if I stole it from you, go ahead and let me know. I'll send you your royalty check or whatever. But don't be an undercover agent, right? Like that works for James Bond and Tom Cruise, right? They want to be undercover. We want to be out there. We want to let people know the people who introduce themselves the most become the wealthiest, right? It's not you that's going to make you wealthy. It's the interactions that you have with other people. So how often are you making that happen? How often are you letting people know, whether it's through social media, whether it's through a blog, whether it's through an email list to potential clients, whatever you're doing, but every day there should be something that you're doing. Now, I see a lot of people these days who are just killing it on TikTok. I mean, I'm following some of the stuff they're doing because they're educating me. So if I was going to partner with someone, who do you think I would reach out to? Someone who I know and has let me know how much they know about this particular industry. So what are you doing from a posting standpoint, right? If I can overcome, and it goes back to opinions, right? If I can overcome that opinion of what other people are going to comment or other people are going to say, then I'm much more willing to do it. The reason you're not doing it, I guarantee it, right? It's not because you're shy. It's not because you don't think you know everything that you need to know, guys, because you can go and Google anything that you're getting ready to post before you post and see if it's at least close to accurate. The reason you're not posting, the reason you're not dialing, which are, again, these are the activities that you have to do every day, of course, tracking what you're doing on a weekly basis, but the everyday activities, posting, and by posting, I mean just sharing with others. Like posting could be just sharing with somebody that you are on the golf course with, or it could be posting to social media or email, anything of that nature. But the reason you're not doing it is because you're worried about what other people are going to say. And as long as you're worried about what other people are going to say, you're going to continue to be an agent that's just barely making it, just getting by, staying in just long enough to ultimately tap out or bow out later on down the road. So as we think about these two things together, it's like there's some simple things to do every day. And I try to keep, anytime I do any type of training, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Because as I said earlier, this is not rocket science. This is a very simple business, what we do, right? Life insurance is straightforward. Property and casualty is fairly straightforward, right? Health insurance, okay, y'all get a little complicated with some of the things like what pays, what doesn't pay, but it's still straightforward, like what it's supposed to do. Like what we do is very straightforward. We complicate it for the most part because we put other people's opinions into it as far as, well, what are they going to think about this? What are they going to think about that? As long as I'm doing and have that opinion, I'm doing the right thing by my clients. And if I make a mistake, I'm going to step in and make sure I get it fixed, right? To the best of my ability, I'm going to serve my clients and do everything that I know and empowered to do. And I'm going to keep getting better over time, right? Like people are waiting to get all of the knowledge. You're never going to have all the knowledge. As I said earlier, I'm 15 years in this industry and I still learn new things every day in this industry, right? I mean, who's read every agent guide from every carrier? I know I haven't, right? I'm hoping that over time, like I've gone through them, but by the time I get through most of them, there's new products and new things that are coming out that I have to learn, right? So I could get paralysis analysis and try to understand all that before I start doing anything, or I could start serving to the best of my ability, serving to the ability that my insurance license allows me to do, right? Make sure that I'm letting my client know I'm going to do the best I can for you based on what I know. And if something's better, we're going to come back and we're going to help you out as well. But if I let that opinion word, and I keep coming back to it because I want that to be, whenever you get off this call, you're just going to see opinions everywhere. You'd be thinking opinion like when you're going to sleep. I hope so, right? Because if I allow other people's opinions to be the thing that dominate what I do and the next step I take, the next action that I take for either my day or my week, then I'm going to get the results that they might want to have for me, right? I'm going to get the mediocre results that everybody who allows that to happen get. But if I decide to restructure, what is the opinion that I have of myself in this industry? What am I here doing? How am I serving? Let that empower you to go out and do the things that no one else is doing, like picking up the phone and making $75, $100 a day, right? Going out there prospecting, putting posts out there on a daily basis saying, hey, I'm in this industry. Here's what I'm learning. Here's how it can be beneficial to you. And not stopping, right? It may take a year, or as Cody shared, 7 years, right, to build a massive following, but you don't even have to build a massive following, right? 1,000, 2,000 good followers who are like trusting you for their opinion, you'd be amazed at what that would do for your overall bottom line. But as long as you're worried about what other people are thinking about what you're saying, what you're doing, your results are going to be minimized. The only way to get that full potential of you out is to let those opinions of others go and make your opinion the opinion that matters, the thing that takes you to the top. And it should be the opinion that's most valuable to you. right? How you feel about yourself, your self-worth, what you're doing in this industry is so extremely valuable. But if you're letting other people subdue that, you're not going to get the results. So the $100,000 sales opinion is your opinion. What is your opinion of you and what you're doing in this industry, what you're doing every day as you're doing those daily activities of posting every day, dialing every day, and tracking your business? If you cultivate an opinion of yourself that's valued at 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000 or wherever you want to continue to take that, if you start having that opinion of yourself and acting in that space, that's what you're going to get. So that's what I wanted to share today. And Cody, again, like I said, I just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share these things. I wish I had heard someone share. I wish someone had shared that with me, 10 years ago. I wonder where I would be right now. Like, it's only been in, recent years that I really got that through my thick head. And I'm hoping that today that I've been able to help someone get that into their mind, and then they can go out and just do amazing things in this industry whenever they put their opinion first, where they're going to go out and help protect families and shape the future of the industry that we're in. So appreciate you today, Cody.
Absolutely, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and being a part of this thing. We have a ton still on and still active and loving the content tonight. A bunch of positive feedback in the chat. I totally love that subject as well. Because, man, like you are right. We worry about our opinions, what people think, and then we like place all these limits on ourselves, when we really don't have to do that. Like, we are capable of so much more. We are capable of way more than we think, and a lot more than people think along the way too. So Sherwin says, I'm guilty of this. Powell says, man from Kenya, I freaking love that. I went through my prospect list and compiled and updated our company data agent portal, and it clocked 415. I created a call list this week, different dial sessions. That's awesome, man. Good for you. That's phenomenal. I love it. Anybody have any questions for Edward tonight? Cheryl Hardy says, looking forward to seeing you next week in Denver, Mr. Pritchett. I love that. That's cool. That's going to be a big event, man. How many of you guys going to have there in Denver at the Symmetry conference?
It'll be at least, I know from the registration list, around 4,000 as of right now. So that last week, we always kind of get those last couple of people trickling in. So
true. That's incredible. It's a big event, man. That's really, really incredible. You guys have built something special. You've got a great group, great leadership department. And dude, I've never met anybody at Symmetry I just didn't love. I didn't like, there may be.
We keep some good ones around.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Cornell says our team is coming. We have 6 new agents coming with me. That's awesome. Kimberly says, question, you had an activity sheet. Do you use that still even with your CRM? Yes.
And that's what I said. I love the digital tracking, but there's something about just putting pen to paper, right? Like, and it's easy to do. All you got to do is print out 52 for the year. Like, that's not a lot of paper. Like, you get like 10 years in one ream of paper, right? But it allows you, there's just something about it. It's one of the reasons I use my Remarkable when I journal. I know you journal in an actual, right? Pen to paper. There's just something about connecting us, writing words down, putting stuff on paper. It makes it much more real than, a digital click. Yep, I made a dial. Yep, I made a dial. So I highly encourage, especially new agents, right? I mean, if you've been doing it successfully for 5 years and you're getting everything that you want to get, don't listen to what I got to say. But if you're a new agent trying to get things started, get an activity report. For those who, I'll give this out right now here, Cody, that, I have my YouTube channel, which is Life Insurance Today. And we have a lot of resources that we post on Life Insurance Today there on YouTube. As well as I do a lot of more short things on Instagram. You can find me at the Edward Pritchett on Instagram. But we post a lot of this stuff out there. My agency has a newsletter for agents. You don't have to be in our organization to be a part of our newsletter. I am with Cody on this one, where I just believe the more people in our industry who have this information, it makes our industry better for all of us, right? And my dad, who I know he's watching right now, he says it all the time, but it's that old adage, the rising tide raises all ships, right? The bigger our industry gets, and for those who are moving it forward, you're going to get more because you're doing that. So happy to share that information. Just subscribe or join one of those things. And, if that information comes out, we try to kind of get that information out every couple of weeks through all those different channels.
Dude, our interview from a little over a year ago, probably been 16 months or so now ish, whatever it is, over 60,000 views now. I just saw that when I was looking at your channel. That's crazy. That is awesome. That's such a good interview. Sherwin says, I'm studying for life and health. Just any tips for passing my test, studying and passing? It's been a minute for me.
It has been a minute, but I actually have some of my agents here in our call center are preparing for the health exam right now because they just had their life license, so they're getting ready for the health exam. And the thing that I continue to coach them on when it comes to passing your exam is try to put yourself in the place of a insurance regulator who's trying to protect the public, right? Like they're asking you questions to make sure that the public is protected from agents that might do something that could harm them, right? So if I'm answering the questions from that perspective and thinking, okay, what's going to serve the public's interest the best, then that's going to help you come to the right answers. Especially on the regulatory part, the pure definitions, you gotta learn your stuff, right? You got to learn about, what is term, what is whole life, how does this work, how does that work? But when it comes to regulations, which I find a lot of people don't do well on the regulations part, you got to think like a regulator. They're trying to protect the public. And I think if more of us as agents thought in the same way, like my goal, whenever I'm picking up the phone to call, is to make sure that you have the best agent who's looking out for your best interest, not someone who's just trying to sell your policy to get a commission, right? And that's what I'm saying. If you're thinking about this in the right way, your opinion is more important than anybody else's opinion out there if you're thinking about it in the right way. So make your opinion about what you're trying to do as pure as possible, that you're there to help others and to make sure that they're protected to the best of your knowledge, right? Like we all will make mistakes. That's part of life. But when I do, I'm going to go figure out, okay, where did I mess up on? How can I rectify this and fix this in the best possible way? But that will help you too on when you're just going for your license test. Think about it from that perspective, and it'll lead you to the right answer. 9 times out of 10. And all you got to do is pass with the 70, right? So, so 9 times out of 10 should get you there.
Yes. Olga says, any recommendations on how to increase self-confidence? Thank you for a great webinar.
That's where I was saying it's that association piece, plug it into stuff like this, right? I loved that you had E.T. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, out at the 8% conference because he has a lot of stuff out there that's motivational and a lot that's educational, and people who blend the two are amazing. And he's definitely one of those people who blends the two. But it's listening to those things that are positive and affirming of the person that you are, right? I used to say the person that you're trying to be, but you're not trying to be better, right? You are already great. Like you are already. It's those opinions. It's the conditioning. I was listening to Nate Offord here recently, and he said something that just clicked as well, right? You were born to win, but conditioned to lose. Really? Right. So it's the conditioning that has you thinking that way. You are already born a winner. Everyone who's on this call right now, you're born to be great in this industry because this is where you are. This is what you're doing right now. Like you are great. Now you have to not just realize it, but actualize that. Right. So building that self-confidence, getting around people who are speaking those affirming thoughts towards you. Whether it's, watching it on a video like this, interacting with a webinar, hopefully plug it into a live huddle up where you're talking with other people and hearing from other people who are doing it right now, going to conferences like 8%, where you can like all week long, you're just around people who are just like, they're positive, they're fired up, they're ready to go. And you can't walk away from that and not feel energized unless you choose to. Right. So you just have to choose to live the greatness that is in you. It really is. People try to make it really difficult and hard. Like you got to go through this coursework and, follow this guru over here. But like, it's in you already. It's just having that choice to recondition, reprogram. Like that's what most people don't do, is they don't spend the time doing the reprogram, because we have been conditioned to, listen to other people's opinions and, why did you do this, and feel bad about the things that we're doing. So if you can surround yourself with people that can help to put the positive things into you through what they're speaking life into you versus speaking death at you, read the books, right? One that I always keep this one around because I go to it all the time during my huddle ups when I'm talking to agents, but Think and Grow Rich. Like this is one of the old school pink editions here. There's so many editions of it, but like there's just all that the good stuff. It's been written about. It's been put out there. You know what I'm saying? And I have to, even for myself, like there are days, right? I have days where I make calls, Cody, and guess what? A lot more people say no than say yes. And I have to go and reaffirm that, but I know what I'm here doing, right? The 3 that did say yes, I get to serve them. And the 15 who said no, too bad, they're lost, right? I hope somebody else is going to be able to get to them one day before it's too late. So those are just a couple of the things, but you really have to just make that choice to believe that. And sometimes you got to be a little bit crazy, right? And just repeat it like you're that crazy person muttering to yourself, I am great, I am great. And guess what? That's okay. Like it's okay to be the crazy person muttering, I am great, as long as you then do something with it, right? Like you can't just keep muttering it and not do something. Like say it to yourself, speak it, write it down, dream about it, and then like during your day, do something about it. And over time, you're going to get better. You will get better.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Thank you all. What CRMs would you recommend? I have a link for Agent CRM, but what would you recommend, Edward?
Yeah, I mean, I like, I've talked to Alex. I like Agent CRM. I've looked at it. I don't recommend this to anybody. I've had my agency actually build out our own CRM within Go High Level. Again, I don't recommend you do that. It's a task. I really like, there's one that we're looking at implementing here soon called Ninja Dialer. And I think you've heard about it and seen some demos, and they have their version 1.5 that just released, which I was actually going over it with our call center agents this morning, and they were like, wait, what? This is so much better than what we just built. So we're gonna have to scrap some man hours, and they're totally fine with it. They're like, okay, this is actually what we needed. So excited about that. But there's some really good ones out there. I think you really want to find one that was built by an agent, right? And that the barrier of entry to it is low. And that's why I'm saying don't go, unless you have to, which I don't think you do, don't go I'm going to build my own and go high level, because now you got to learn a whole bunch more stuff when you could just be out there writing some policies,
True. Amen to that. Yeah, which is such a good point as well. Any other questions for Edward at all? Dude, I appreciate you being on again, man. It's awesome. You're back in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, here in PR right now. Enjoying the sunny days and balmy winds, which is nice. And it's not like it's everywhere I went this summer, it seemed like it was like a heat advisory everywhere. And it's hot down here, but it's not that kind of hot. It's like warm but comfortable.
That's so good, man. I love it. Well, I appreciate you being on tonight. Appreciate you sharing. Appreciate you being a part of another webinar. If they want to learn more, I included the YouTube link. What else should we share, or what should they do?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, Instagram, the Edward Pritchett on Instagram. Easy place to follow me there. Of course, that also links to my page on Facebook. And so my agency is post a lot of stuff there on Facebook. So that'd be one place to follow. And then, of course, from there, there's, if you want to get on our newsletter link and learn more and get more information, you can do that. And then just the Pritchett Agency .com, just thepritchettagency.com to learn more about what I'm doing, my agency. Feel free to check us out there. Those are a couple places they could learn more. And then of course, you can always stay plugged in to 8% because I'm going to just keep coming back.
Right. Amen. Appreciate that. That's awesome, buddy. You did an amazing job. I love having your support and a part of it. It means the world. And I appreciate you coming on another webinar tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, I wish everybody the best. Go out and, make your opinion count. Stop listening to all the naysayers. Let all those other things go. If you make your opinion strong, you will win in this industry.
Let's go. Let's go win. Thank you, Edward. Thank you for being on tonight. Have a phenomenal week. Hope you had an amazing July. Either way, you can have an amazing August. And we hope to see you again super soon. Thanks for being on. See you soon.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Okay, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.